what's cool? Video game news. And there's a bunch of stories floating around that I definitely want to talk about. First off, we're going to talk about a new Fallout collection that seemingly popped up on Amazon. A lot of people have questions about this. What platforms is it coming to? And most importantly, is it coming to the Nintendo Switch? And I'm going to sort of break down whether I think it will end up coming to the Nintendo Switch or not. PS4 crossplay has been fully enabled, and I think there's a lot of interesting implications from that. One of the biggest pieces of video gaming history is now available for sale. And is Nintendo spying on this channel? Something happened late last night, and I'm just sitting here thinking, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Well, sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about what's going on in the world of video game news. So first off, let's talk about something called the Fallout Legacy Collection. Now, Fallout is a series that admittedly I kind of enjoy. I never really played the early entries in the series. I kind of got involved in Fallout with Fallout 3. I absolutely loved Fallout 3. It's probably one of my favorite games of all time, even though I don't really give it enough credit. Sure, it was a little bit buggy at times, but I played that game so much on the Xbox 360, and I absolutely loved it. Fallout 4 was pretty good as well, but I definitely liked Fallout 3 a bit more. Of course, Fallout 76 was a thing, but we're not going to talk about that. But late last night, something very interesting popped up on Amazon of Germany's website about the Fallout Legacy Collection. Now, this is a collection of Fallout games that is supposedly coming out very soon, according to the Amazon listing. They have a release date of October 25th. Now, we haven't heard Bethesda talk about this in any way, shape, or form, and this is a listing for a PC version of the game. Now, what's included in this version of the game? Well, you have the following Fallout games. You have Fallout, you have Fallout 2, you have Fallout Tactics, you have Fallout 3, you have Fallout 3 New Vegas, and Fallout 4. Now, what's interesting about this compilation is, like I said, this is a listing for a PC compilation and has a PC box. But in the description of this product, it actually lists consoles as being involved in this as well, as you'll be able to do mods with both the PC version and the console versions. So it seems like this is coming to all modern platforms, which has a lot of people pretty much expecting this to come to the PS4 and the Xbox One. But what about the Nintendo Switch? Now, a lot of people have questions about whether this compilation will actually come to the Nintendo Switch. And I think once you get up to Fallout 3, everything is fine. Everything can run on the Nintendo Switch. When you talk about Fallout 4, it gets a little bit trickier, I feel, because that game was, of course, designed with the PS4, Xbox One, and PC in mind. However, just looking at the video game landscape, you can see a lot of different things. You, of course, have Outer Worlds coming to the Nintendo Switch, which is a game that a lot of people didn't expect to come to the platform. You, of course, have Bethesda supporting the Nintendo Switch with a lot of big games that were also designed for the PS4 and the Xbox One. Games like Doom, Doom Eternal, Wolfenstein 2, and of course the remastered edition of Elder Scrolls. So it's not outside the realm of possibility for Bethesda to work on Nintendo Switch versions of the games or outsource them to companies like Panic Button in order to bring these games to the Nintendo Switch. Now, as far as the legitimacy of this listing is concerned, I definitely think it's very real. Amazon has a great track record with stuff like this, and the description of the listing is just way too detailed. If it was just a title with some generic mock-up box art, then maybe I could see, you know, okay, well, this probably isn't an actual thing. Maybe it's just a placeholder that something is going to be eventually coming. But with having all of these details listing the games that are going to be available in it, I definitely think it's a real thing. Whether or not the release date is real, I don't know. I think Bethesda would have announced something by now, but I definitely think this compilation is real, and I definitely think it has a real chance of coming to the Nintendo Switch, and I honestly would absolutely love that. Even if they just didn't include Fallout 4, like, that would still be awesome to have all of those other Fallout games, including Fallout 3 and New Vegas, on the Nintendo Switch. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this listing. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? And do you think it'll come to the Nintendo Switch? Next up, I want to talk about some PS4 cross-play information. Now, you might remember, Sony was very against cross-platform play. You had Xbox working together with Nintendo, you had PC working together with Xbox and Nintendo and the Switch, and then you had Sony, kind of the outside man looking in, saying, oh, well, the PlayStation is the best place to play these games. But as time has gone on, they've started to soften their stance. And a couple weeks ago on the channel, we talked about how more cross-platform play was being introduced between PlayStation and other brands. Well, it seems like the beta for this program is now over with, and they are going to be going fully forward with PS4 cross-platform play, and any developer from big AAA developers to smaller indie developers can now enable cross-platform play on their games between the PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, along with the PC. Now, I think this is definitely a step in the right direction for Sony to be doing something like this. Some people feel that this timing has something to do with Sean Layden leaving the company. Obviously, it really doesn't, because Sean Layden, of course, was there when the company was putting this program into to beta, so it's not like all of a sudden Sean Layden leaves and then cross-platform play gets enabled. This is something that's been working on behind the scenes for quite a while now, but I'm definitely interested to see sort of the future of this, how the PS5 and the Xbox One successor will work with cross-platform play, and will it include the Nintendo Switch, because obviously the Nintendo Switch will be much weaker than these other two systems, but it's nice to see Sony finally embracing cross-platform play. I think cross-platform play is really cool, so hats off to Sony, good job doing this. Next up, I want to talk about arguably the biggest piece of video game history is now going up for sale, and I have a bid for you, good sir. I have a bid for you. The Nintendo PlayStation, which is owned by an individual named Terry Diebold, is going up for sale. Now, the Nintendo PlayStation, of course, was the failed attempt at Sony and Nintendo working together to bring CD technology to the Super Nintendo. Much like the Sega CD and the Sega Genesis, this would have brought CD-based games to the Super Nintendo. Now, of course, for whatever reason, this relationship completely fell apart. Nintendo ended up working with Philips and the CDI, and we got those horrible Nintendo games on the Philips CDI, and of course, no CD technology ever came to the Super Nintendo. But prototypes were made, and Terry Diebold actually owns a working prototype of the Nintendo PlayStation. It actually plays your Super Famicom games on there, and it has a working disc drive. It's a really cool piece of video game history. It's been making the rounds at various video game cons all across the United States, really all across the world, but now Terry is putting this up for sale. Now, from what I've heard, he's gotten offers in the past of like up to 6 figures for this thing, and that's cool and all. You know, you could do a lot with that 6 figures, but Terry, I would like to give you a personal offer. I would like to offer you $1,000 and a night out with Mitch. Yes, Mitch the houseplant. You could do whatever you want to do with him. You can go to a bar with him. You can go to a strip club with him. I don't care. You know, Mitch is a cool dude. He'll do whatever. But yes, I would like to offer you this exclusive offer of $1,000 and a night out with Mitch, because I really want this thing. But it's definitely very awesome to see. A lot of people hope that this goes into a video game museum-like setting. Obviously, some people are working on video game museums, that it seems like. So definitely a very cool piece of gaming history. I would like to get my hands on it. My offer stands, Terry. Like I said, $1,000 and a night out with Mitch, so let me know about it. And finally, yesterday on the channel, we talked about Nintendo and potentially misleading and lying to consumers about some things. Half of that equation was about Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Nintendo's Twitter account said there was a new story mode, but there really wasn't a new story mode. It was just added story into the Gauntlet mode via text. Now, some people felt that that was enough. Some people felt like it was just misleading text in their Twitter account in the tweet that they tweeted. Me personally, I kind of felt like it was a lie. When you say story mode stuff, I expect those new characters to have new environments and involving in the story with it. But like I said, I wanted to leave it up to your interpretation. To me, it was kind of a lie. To you, it might have been something else. But of course, the other half of that equation was, where the hell was the Super Mario Maker 2 update? This was something that was talked about back in June. All of a sudden, Nintendo went radio silent on it. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna say that Nintendo did this because of me. I'm not gonna say that they did this update last night because of me. But I might say they might have done it because of Mitch. Because let me tell you about Mitch. He's a mysterious dude, man. Like, he'll leave sometimes for like a week at a time. People are like, oh, where's Mitch? Where's Mitch? It's like, he's not here. Like, he's out doing hood rat stuff potentially. I don't know what that dude is doing, but then he'll just show up on my kitchen counter again. Well, all of a sudden, after we made this video yesterday, Nintendo has released an update for Super Mario Maker 2, and it's a pretty hefty update. So is Nintendo spying on this channel? I caught you! So of course the main point of this update is that now you can play online with friends in multiplayer versus and multiplayer co-op modes. You can now select courses updated to the course world, as well as courses saved to the course bot, and the Nintendo Switch Online mobile app now allows for voice chat with this game. There are some other things added as well, such as official Nintendo creator courses, but then Nintendo even went a bit above and beyond with another tweet after talking about the fact that this update was going live. The tweet says the following: there is now the ability to use touchscreen and button controls when creating courses in handheld mode. Be sure to look forward to additional game updates, including new course parts in the future. So now all of a sudden, Nintendo is just like, oh yeah, let's be blabbermouth about this game. Yeah, now you can use your Nintendo Switch in handheld mode to create levels and use the touchscreen like you could with the Wii U. Oh, and more course parts are coming. I'm not saying that we had anything to do with it, but maybe we did. No, I'm just kidding, obviously, but it's definitely great to see this update come out. I think it'll definitely breathe new life into Super Mario Maker 2, and I'm really interested to see what these other course parts are going to be. Some people have long speculated that there could potentially be more Super Mario-style games incorporated into Super Mario Maker 2, maybe something like Super Mario Brothers 2 incorporated into the game with those sorts of levels and that sort of character creation as well. But it's definitely great to see Nintendo finally supporting this game, and it's just very funny about the timing. I was laughing about about it very hard last night when I saw that tweet. I was like, yeah, I made a video on this, and all of a sudden you do it. So, you know, maybe I had something to do with it. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, definitely very cool to see. Alright, so that is what is happening in the world of video game news that I find very interesting. So let me know in the comments section down below what you think of everything. Do you think the Fallout Legacy Collection is a real thing, and do you think it'll end up coming to the Nintendo Switch? What do you think about PS4 finally enabling full cross-platform play for any developer? Do you want the Nintendo PlayStation as bad as I do? And Super Mario Maker 2, are now you more invested in this game now that they've included this update? And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. As usual, be sure to check out other videos on the channel. If you're new, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We are still giving away a Nintendo Switch Lite, so make sure you enter to win that. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.